You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, happy Monday. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. It's so good to be back on this 9th day of June. Thank you for being with us here on 702. I hope you're well this morning and I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And it was a wonderful sporting weekend, wasn't it? I mean, Coco Golf, how amazing was that? She won her maiden French Open title, if you missed it this weekend, overcoming world number one, Aryna Sabalenka, in 3 sets. That was on Saturday, but it was such a roller coaster final. In fact, my understanding is that she's the first woman to beat a world number one in a Grand Slam final from a set down. This is since Venus Williams, when he did it against Lindsay at Wimbledon back in 2005. So congratulations to her. She's now a 2-time Grand Slam champion. Let me know if you did watch her and what you thought of that match. Did you run Comrades yesterday? Were your loved ones running? Were you supporting? And how was it for you? Congratulations to all the runners and congratulations to the winners as well. Tete Dijana and Gerda Steyn were incredible. They're always my favorite winners for Comrades. They've done it before together and it was just so good to see Tete's comeback. Brilliant run. I didn't get to run this year, as I was telling Bongani earlier on, even though I trained until the end, because Comrades didn't allow us to do a substitution entry. I mean, my coach tried everything that he could. The Comrades website said substitution would be opened until the 15th of April. But then, without communicating to anyone, they decided to open the substitution for a day or two, and not until the 15th, as communicated on their website and app. So they didn't tell anyone about that. So it opened for a day or two, and that has messed up a lot of people who wanted to do substitution entries. But anyway, I will be back next year, and I cannot wait for it. But I came down to Durban. That's where I'm broadcasting from this morning. I came down because I had friends who were running Comrades that I needed to support. And what a thrilling experience it was to support runners. I mean, moving from one spot to the next, encouraging runners who wanted to stop because they had injuries, video calling their wives so that they can encourage them to keep on going. I enjoyed it so much. So if you have ever done it supporting at Comrades, I'd like to know from you. Let me know what that experience was like for you. And I'd like to know from you if you would support Helen Zille for Joburg Mayor. That's something else we can talk about on the open line. She's considering it. She has confirmed that she's been approached to support. She's been approached, to become the candidate for Joburg Mayor. And that's being supported by some people in the Democratic Alliance. Some people say she gets things done. So she would be great, taking from her experience as Cape Town mayor. As it stands, I'm sure we all agree that the city of Joburg does need some kind of leadership. But if she comes in, some people say the ANC might as well kiss Johannesburg goodbye. But would that really be the case given the coalition dynamics in Johannesburg? Because the thing with coalitions is that they can be a source of frustration for any party that takes the mayorship position. So I wonder what your thoughts are on that. 011-883-0702 is the number to dial. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7
and 106 FM.
All right, I'll be coming to your calls and your WhatsApps in a moment. I wanted to tell you why I wasn't at work last week, because as always, even when I take a day off, I do get so many complaints and people complaining that I'm away. But last week I was away on actually a good cause that I need to actually dedicate some time to tell you about. I spent a week in Finland. I was in Finland last week. I spent a week there That's why I wasn't on the show. I was invited there to learn about the country and what makes it the happiest country in the world. You know, Finland has been declared the happiest country in the world for the 8th time now. And clearly there's something they're getting right. And I was invited to come. I was the journalist representing South Africa. I was invited with a few other journalists from around the world. And it was such a fascinating experience. We met with the foreign minister. We met with some parliamentarians, you know, some organizations. But I want to give you a more detailed feedback. So I want to dedicate a specific time on the show, maybe sometime this week, and I can tell you about what I've picked up. I mean, for me, one of the things that was so incredibly, not shocking per se, but fascinating was how tax compliance is looked at in Finland. I mean, people are happy to pay their taxes because they can see where those taxes are going. I mean, Finland is also known for having the lowest levels of corruption. And of course, as I said, the dynamics are different to ours in South Africa. I mean, we have 62 million. That's our population, thereabout. I mean, Finland has 5.7, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere there. That's their population. But there are so many things to learn about, even just the trust among the Finnish people. I mean, Finnish people, they trust the police. The trust levels for the police are so high. The trust levels amongst each other are among the highest. And there are many studies that have been done where, you know, people, they will just throw a wallet on the streets and then they check how are Finnish people going to respond. Wallet with money. What do? Do you take it and take the money out? Do you go and report it? Actually, a lot of them report it. They don't take the money. So that explains why Finnish people actually appreciate and trust each other more than even the judiciary, more than even the media, more than even politicians. So it's been fascinating, but we'll dedicate some time, I promise, sometime this week maybe, and then I can actually tell you guys about what happened during my trip to Finland. I think there are a few things that we could probably learn from as South Africa. It's 17 minutes now after 9 o'clock.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
Let's go to the calls now. Kustas, you're calling from Midrand. Good morning.
Yes, morning. Hey, Clement, there's so many talking points this morning. I want to touch base on Gogo Zille, but at the Comrades, Clement, I saw this one specific billboard. I've tweeted it. It said, "Rhyme like Mkwanazi is after you." For me, that billboard said it all. And it was wearing by a police lady of some sort. She was a runner of some sort. So, yeah, to the Comrade people who were running, yes, I was supporting the Clement. A friend, and of course he didn't finish, and my heart goes out to him. But I must say, Clement, everybody must run like Mkwanazi is after you, otherwise.
That's so funny. That's so funny, Kustas. Yeah. It's always so cool to see SAPS. Did you see it on an SAPS member? Because what I picked up is, even when I run, you know, every time the SAPS members pass, you hear the supporters say, "Hey, Poisa," and they make all sorts of comments around them. It's always so fascinating to watch.
That's true. Clement, let me get down to business. Firstly, I want to talk about Gogo Helen Zille, but I'm disappointed that the ANC can watch Dada Morero failing like he does, and they don't take any action. Because clearly he doesn't know what he's doing, Clement. I don't know how much more must a man fail before we realize that he's not up to job. His bomb squad, his presidential working group, his city power. City power is not a failing entity, except that we pay money to the city of Joburg, and the city of Joburg allocates money to city power. And that's the problem. So under his leadership, the finances of Joburg have gone from bad to worse. So much so that today the city of Joburg runs on loans. And this is something that the people of Joburg don't know. So for them to watch him failing like he does is disappointing. Let's come back to Gogo Zille. Gogo Zille is not a silver bullet for this city when I Clement. They must bring back Mpho Balatse. And this, I'll call it unfairness within the DA, because she was a capable leader, working, and the democratic alliance will support her. You see. So Gogo Zille for me is not the same as she was before she went to the IRR. are change her completely when I claim not for the good of social cohesion of the country, but to make it cut this way, to promote probably just the interests of the Caucasians only. And that's wrong. In fact, of Tshwane, people, they have seen what Brink did, where things just simply didn't work in the townships. Suburbs will always be taken care by the DA because it does well there. Because it's easy to manage the suburbs. So I'm suggesting to you that she's not a silver bullet. And I think that if they want to make a change, we can take Helen Mashaba, for instance. We can use them properly. So the Democratic, I mustn't bring someone from Cape Town as if they were a silver bullet. Brink, she didn't do it. She was coming from a provincial what. He could not succeed. Nasib is succeeding. So we don't need an outsider, for instance, so to speak, in inverted commas. We need Helen Mashaba, who must go back there, or Mpopalaze. That's my suggestion.
Okay, Kustas, thank you so much for your call. That's Kustas' suggestion. What's yours? Semi, you're calling from Centurion. Hi. Hi, Semi. Okay, issues there with Semi's line. We'll try to re-establish that line. Let's go to your WhatsApp voice notes on 072-702-1702.
Clement, welcome back. On the Helen Zille situation, you know, it's sad actually that she keeps putting herself forward, or the DA keeps putting herself forward. She's a competent person. She's had her time. What is going on with our politicians who keep recirculating the same group of individuals who were around in the 90s? Are they saying they've got no faith whatsoever in anybody who came up after 94? You know, competent or not competent, at this stage in life, she should be stepping back out of the public eye and using her experience to mentor a stronger generation of future leaders, not to be constantly in the limelight, you know, having things to say, overshadowing everybody else. You know, it's almost becoming the Zille party. You know, Johannesburg is not Cape Town. We are going to need a very aggressive, very strong mayor to get the city out of a situation it's in. You cannot use administration and procedures to fix the city after 15, 20 years of decline.
Good morning, Clement. Hey, our Joburg is dirty, Clement. I will vote for Mama Helen Zille. I will never hesitate when Clement to vote for her. I wish she could come and stand so we can vote for her. Maybe she will change our Joburg. Thank you.
Morning, Clement. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't she mayor of Cape Town for 2 consecutive terms? Isn't there a limit constitutionally for that position? So I don't know. I need a legal opinion on this. Is she then qualified to be mayor of Joburg if she has served 2 terms personally in Cape Town? Prince in Bedfordville.
Yeah, Prince, I think very much so. I'm not aware of any legalities that would bar her from being the candidate of the Democratic Alliance for a position there in the city of Johannesburg. Semi is back on the line. Semi, you're calling us from Centurion. Hi.
Hello, Clement. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Go ahead, brother.
Yes. Clement, can you hear me?
Yes, Semi, go ahead. Ooh, Semi's line is not okay. Tell you what, let's take a quick ad break, and I'll get the producers to just try fix that line with her, or maybe call him on a different line. It's 23 minutes now after 9 o'clock.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
26 minutes after 9 o'clock. Your WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702.
Clement, good morning. Welcome back, man. I trust you well. Well, Clement, to your question about supporting Helen Zille, what other options are there, because everything else has failed? I would try her. I would try and see if she can make a difference. She's claiming she would be able to deliver Joburg from the precipice that we see. Yeah, sure, why not? Thanks, Clement. Anonymous.
Day 702 listeners, good day, Clement. This is DJ from Learning. Johannesburg is finished, Mr. Manyathela. The buildings there are don't owned by South Africa. I don't believe so. Especially CBD, everything is hijacked. There's nothing left in Johannesburg. People who don't want Johannesburg to be all right are people who are committing crimes there. Those are the people who are going to say no to Helen Zille. Because now he's going to take food out of their table. They will say no to Helen. But Helen will be the best person to run that seat. That seat needs someone who's strong, Clement. It's just too much crime there. Too much crime. We are always there, some of us. We don't see any difference. We need someone stronger there.
I mean, you know, when I look at Helen Zille, I just see Nancy Pelosi. So you underestimate such a person at your own peril. She has something to prove if she gets this, and I have a feeling that she'll deliver and she'll rub it at the face of the ANC guys. Denzel here. Cheers.
Clement, Helen Zille, Joburg. Actually, DA, Joburg again? Never. They've been disaster. Their only success is in Cape Town. We don't want them in Johannesburg at all. I mean, the Rangos, also one very major example. They don't care about the downtrodden. They don't care about BRT, expanding BRT to be able to serve the workers of Johannesburg. They abandoned BRT to Alex for more than 10 years. Only now that ANC is reviving that project. So I don't think DA should be allowed anywhere near Joburg. To Senseworth.
Yeah, interesting thoughts there. I'll take more of your calls and WhatsApps about that. Yeah, someone was raising the issue of just politicians who just don't want to retire. And maybe Helen Zille is one of those. Well, she still has some energy. That's what she will argue. She still has support within the Democratic Alliance. She still thinks she can make a difference as a public servant. But yeah, this is someone who had retired from politics and came back, and now to come back to like public office, that would really be fascinating. And I wonder how that would change the dynamics, not only in the DA, but for the very city that she would be operating in, if indeed that's what ends up becoming the case. In fact, Helen Zille spoke to my colleague Bongani Bingwa this morning about this particular issue. Here's what she said.
This is big news. Listen, have you been formally approached, and are you seriously thinking about it?
Yes and yes. I have been formally approached, and I am seriously thinking about it. But remember, there's always competition in the DA. We like competition. We don't like correlations. And so about 12 people, as I understand it, have applied. Most people don't know who those applications are, except the people managing the candidate selection process. And they're people who've approached other people, and they're people who've approached me. That's how it works in the DA.
They should all call Athol Trollip. Why would you do it?
Why would I do it?
Yeah.
Because I have unfinished business in Johannesburg. I was born in Hillbrow. I grew up in Johannesburg. I lived in Hillbrow as a journalist. I love that city. I've still got family in that city. And most importantly of all, South Africa can't succeed if Joburg is broken. Joburg remains the financial capital, the economic capital of South Africa, and we have to make sure that Joburg is fixed. South Africa can be on the road to a success, but we've got to fix it bit by bit, and I've always said that's going to start with local government. That's why we put all our eggs into trying to win somewhere at local level, demonstrating better governance, and building from there, from the bottom up. And I've always said that's the way to transform South Africa, and that is what we're doing.
So, fix it bit by bit and build it from the bottom up. What are your thoughts? It's 9:31.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is the 702 open line. We're taking your calls on 011-883-0702. Your WhatsApps on 072-702-1702. I've asked you about the incredible, thrilling sporting weekend. Coco Gauff, and how amazing she was, winning her maiden French Open title. I've asked you about the Comrades Marathon, if you were watching, if you were participating, maybe your loved one was running, maybe you were supporting. What did you think of what transpired yesterday? And would you support Helen Zille for Johannesburg Mayor? And what does this tell us, the fact that she's willing to come back to public office? I mean, where's Solim Simanga? How long has Solim Simanga been leading the DA in the Gauteng province? Or, I don't know, in the city of Johannesburg, who's their caucus leader there? Or do they not have talent in Johannesburg that can take up this position? What do you think it is that Helen Zille brings? She says she loves Johannesburg. We need to get things right in Johannesburg. She's still consulting with her family. She's been approached. I mean, when politicians tell you this, you must know they've already considered it. But they just want you to think that, oh, this thing just came to us and we're still going to talk to our families. But often when they tell you, I've been approached and I'm keen, but I'm still going to consult family, then you must know they really have already made up a decision, sort of. But let's see how it works out with Helen Zille. Let's start with your WhatsApp voice notes on 072-702-1702.
Yeah, Clement, I supported Comrades in 2023. And I was like, I don't think I would ever do it again. It was emotionally draining. I just felt exhausted and very emotional to be seeing people struggling. Some could not walk, others were crying, and it was just a mess.
Hi, Clement. Now, I just wanted to talk about Comrades Marathon and to just give a huge shout out to everyone that laced up for this giant of a race. Batong, you guys are amazing. You guys continue to inspire us. I mean, 90 kilometers in one day. Phew. Anyways, one day is one day. We shall get there. And I also wanted to give a huge shout out to Ndade Johannesburg Mayor, who was the oldest runner at Comrades. He's 83 years of age, and he finished in 11 hours 47 minutes. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Otherwise, big ups to everyone. But it's now Medal Monday. Do your thing. Poo, 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 poo.
Yo, that's amazing. At over 80, you run and finish a marathon. Yeah, that's just something else. There was a guy there as well who ran his 50th Comrade. And those are the stories that to me really touch my heart. But I agree with you that there's a lot that you see. First of all, I really don't think a lot of people, because some do, but I really don't think a lot of people understand the kind of trauma that training for Comrades brings. I think I've shared this story before with you when I ran my first last year, and how difficult it was. Like, it really breaks your spirit. It really does. That's why they say, if you can survive Comrades training, then you can survive Comrades. That training is so crucial. But it really is going to break you into pieces. And when I see people running and pushing, and that's why, yesterday I had a chat, there's a gentleman who just couldn't. He was cramping so bad. He sat down. We gave him everything we could, and he said, I'm done. I had to call his wife, because I know his wife. And I said, your husband is about to call it. Please speak to him. I put them on video call. The wife was busy praying for him. And he got up and we walked with him a bit. And he ended up running. And that's because I understand how difficult it is to prepare for something like this. So it's not easy. You don't want to just give up that easily. You really want to push as hard as you can. But seeing how people are struggling to walk, it's really sad. But again, I really, really applaud anybody who even is brave enough to put their name up for the ultimate human race. It's really, really something to behold, really. Let's go back to some of your WhatsApp voice notes on 0727021702.
Hey, morning, Clement. How's it? This is Farimo from the Val, but based in Joburg now. No, man, Clement, regarding the Helen Zille issue, becoming a premier in Gauteng, I say she must come. She must come, magabangeni. Guys, we must go and check Mid-Val, how things are operating that side. We from the Val, from Mfuleni. You know, there was this cousin of mine who did the firefighting course. That guy, he battled, I think, for 2 to 3 years looking for the job at Mfuleni. You know, her father recently bought a stand at that site in Mid-Val. He moved that site. Within 6 months, that guy was employed. Even now, he's still employed. I think we need to arrange the buses. Just go and tour Mid-Val and see what's happening there. Guys. We need Helen Zille. He will sort a lot of things. We don't have time anymore. We need this lady. He will sort everything here.
Morning, Clement. Welcome back. Yes, for Helen Zille proposal, I will fully support it because I think Joburg really need a very decisive leader, and I think Helen Zille, it's a credible leader, and comes with some track records. Of course, not everybody will like her, but I think the state of Joburg needs somebody who can really inspire some kind of a hope, because currently Joburg, it's a disaster. People have failed. I think Helen Zille, she can do a better job.
If we really want to see change, in Joburg, and perhaps get Joburg on the same level as Cape Town, then Helen Zille is your person. So everyone has to accept it. The current leadership has failed. It's time for a new leadership in charge. Clive from Alberton.
Okay, Clive, in Alberton, thank you for that. But what do you guys think she'll be able to do? What do you think she's going to be able to do differently? Because the difference here is there are coalition dynamics here. So we're not talking about a Helen Zille who, is going to be running a government that has one party as a majority. And I know in Cape Town there were those dynamics as well back then. But I just think it's going to be really complicated to get the buy-in of other parties. And yes, maybe that's going to boost the fortunes of the Democratic Alliance in Johannesburg. I don't know. Maybe there are some people who are going to vote for the Democratic Alliance because they really do want to give Helen Zille that opportunity. I mean, the local government elections are coming up. You want to put the strongest of candidates forward in order to increase your chances at the polls. And this is what the DA is doing, going to get one of their most senior politicians to come and run this. That's quite incredible. I'm getting a number of messages on Twitter as well about some amazing stories that are coming out from just the Comrades Marathon and why people were running. It's so fascinating. Someone on the WhatsApp line, Sapo, says, "Hi, Clement. I ran Comrades yesterday because I wanted to celebrate my mom. I wanted to celebrate my mom. She's always supported my journey, even when I was training for Comrades. She's no longer with us, but it was such a great honor to run and celebrate her." I read this text and it actually just touched me a bit, because one of the friends that I supported yesterday, is so the last 2 weeks were so difficult for us because I lost a friend of mine. In fact, this is my friend's wife, who also became a friend of mine. And that's why I wasn't on the show, I think not last week, but last week Friday, the week before last, because that's when we were burying her. But it was such a difficult week because we lost her to cancer. And it really was a lot to deal with. And seeing my friend go through that when he has lost the love of his life and his best friend was so heartbreaking. And that's a friend who decided to continue to run Comrades yesterday. And that's, again, another story that was heartwarming to some people. I mean, we went there we were here to support him. You know, we saw just how strong he was, how determined he was. And he said, I'm going to do this for my wife. So there are such incredible stories at Comrades. There are people who run for a cause. For some people, it's not just, oh, I've trained, I'm a runner. For some people, there's a reason I'm doing this thing. And as difficult as it will be, I'm going to push through because I know why I'm running. And for my friend, he was running for his wife. And I'm sure he's made his wife so proud. And I'm just in awe. And I even told him, for you to have dealt with what you've dealt with over the last 2 weeks and still be able to come and run and finish so strong is really quite incredible. 13 minutes before 10 o'clock. African Corporate and Investment Bank.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
11 minutes before 10 o'clock. Mandla, you are calling us from Centurion. Good morning. Oh, okay. Don't know what's happening there with Mandla. Let's go to Tebogo in Pretoria. Tebogo, hi.
Hi, Clement, how are you?
Good, brother. How are you? Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, my issue with Helen Zille is that it's going to be very difficult for her if she's offered the job. For instance, most of the problems that are dealt with in Joburg is the negligence of the bylaws. And those bylaws are like issues like maybe people residing into places that they were not supposed to. And if somebody like Helen Zille will try to evacuate those people, she will be slapped with a racism card on her face. She's going to be accused of practicing racism on black people, especially as she will be a white woman. And I'm saying this because remember when somebody like Helen Mashaba was trying to enforce the bylaws, and there was the story about this gentleman who was walking about with a head of a cattle uncovered, and Helen Mashaba tried to clear that problem and insisted that will cause disease and all this stuff. And he was accused of practicing the things that DA will be practicing on black people, and they accused him of racism, even as black he was, So I'm saying that it's going to be difficult for Helen Zille, and people like Malema and EFF will have a field day with Helen Zille. They're going to make it very difficult for her if she evacuates people from the depleted their buildings and try to play them somewhere, and she'll be accused of racism. So it's not going to work.
Okay, well, Tebogo, she's a tough politician. I think she can take it, and she just knows how to deal with it if really it comes to that. But thanks for your thoughts, Tebogo in Pretoria. Busiswa, you're calling us from Midrand. What are your thoughts? Good morning.
Hi, Clement. We need Helen. We need Helen Zille here. I support the guy who spoke about Midval. For the first time, I was going to Sebokeng. I saw this big board written, "Welcome to Midval." After having traveled to dirt and grime and everything, I have never seen such cleanliness. Order. There's order. There's order in Midval. I asked a guy at the petrol station, Guti, Baba, is this Midval? What in Danam Lana Guraniti? Asfuno Guyazi ANC. Parks. Clear order. That place has been run by DA for years. As for the Auditor General, that's the only municipality who gets things right. We need to Helen. Leave Cape Town. Just leave Cape Town. Midval. We need Helen.
Okay.
Urgently. Was this is Helen?
Okay.
Was.
Yeah, Busis, this is Helen. Busis at Midrand. Thank you so much. Guys, is it only DA mayors, for instance, or premiers even, who actually have a success story. Like municipalities or metros or provinces, is it just the DA that have a good story to tell through, well, you could argue Cape Town, though that's subject for debate, because some people say, yeah, what's the point of celebrating how great Cape Town is when on the outskirts, you can clearly see how anti-poor that government is. That's an argument that some people make. That's an argument some people make about the Western Cape as a province. But in this case, are you telling me, Midvaal is, has been led by a DA, has been DA led for a long time, and it's been successful in how it's been run. Are there no other success stories from other parties? Like, must it be Helen? Must it be someone from the DA? Is that how much confidence you have? Let me know. Stephen, you are in Centurion. What do you think? Hi.
Hi, Clement. Precisely. Helen Zille, I don't know. I don't think she'll be okay in Joburg. Just check Cape Town, Clement. Many people, they've never been there, even in Cape Town. The face of poverty in Cape Town is still a black person. It is raining now there. Go to Nyanga. Go to Cape Town. Go and see how black people are suffering there. Is she not from Cape Town, Helen Zille? If she fails to better the life of a black man in Cape Town, focusing on the white suburbs and everywhere, how is she going to do Joburg well? How can she just live there, come and do Joburg well, where black people are suffering there? Some people don't even know the places that we're talking about. They say Helen Zille is a good person, blah, 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 she's working. Go and see the face of poverty in Cape Town. Is black person. And she's doing nothing. Nothing. It's not anything that is priority on her. So I don't think she will make it here, because she will come here and try to make Santel only, to focus only there. And she's not going to be okay.
Okay, Stephen in Centurion. Yeah, thank you so much for your call. Let's go to some WhatsApps on 072-702-1702.
Morning, Clement. I'm a very big tennis fan. Sadly, I didn't watch Coco Gauff on Saturday. I was otherwise engaged. But I watched Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner last night. Oh my word. That was a thriller. That was spectacular. Talk about a comeback. A long match, 5 hours, 29 minutes it was. I think it's the longest ever. And yeah, but what a comeback. So Carlos come back from 2 sets down to win the match. Big lesson learned. Get the crowd behind you and don't stop believing in yourself. Yeah. Smile from Midrand.
Hi, Clement. You haven't spoken about, I think, one of the most epic tennis matches in history, which was Sinner versus Alcaraz yesterday. I think it's the longest tennis match, the tennis final rather, that's taken place at Roland Garros. And it was absolutely epic. Sinner looked like he was on his way to winning it in the fourth set. And Alcaraz just, I don't know, that boy has some other kind of BMT in him. And it really goes to show how things can just change in an absolute instant. So it was a phenomenal game of tennis, and it really just was, a fantastic way to end off a weekend. And then, Ronaldo finally getting a win for his country, which I thought was fantastic in the Euro Nations Cup. Thanks, Antonia, Victoria.